What if I told you that history is hiding something so terrifying, so unbelievable that even scientists are afraid to talk about it? These skeletons shouldn't exist, and yet they do. Were they experiments, aliens, or something far darker? Stay till the end, because number 1 will make you question everything you know. Number 10. The red-haired giants of Lovelock Cave. Imagine stumbling upon giant bones with fiery red hair buried deep in a Nevada cave. That's exactly what miners discovered in the early 1900s. But here's where it gets even creepier. Local Paiute legends spoke of a race of cannibalistic giants that once roamed the land, only to be wiped out by the tribe. Coincidence? Maybe. But the real shocker. Some of these bones mysteriously vanished. The remains that were tested showed something chilling. These giants weren't just tall. They were genetically different from any known human. Some researchers claim their bone density suggests they weren't even fully human at all. And here's the part that will send shivers down your spine. The Smithsonian allegedly took the bones, and then they were never seen again. What were they hiding? Number 9. The Atacama alien skeleton. A tiny 6-inch skeleton with a strangely elongated skull was discovered in Chile's Atacama Desert. It looked so unnatural that many believed it was an alien. And when scientists tested its DNA, the results were even weirder than expected. It wasn't just a deformed human. It had several mutations that had never been seen before. Its skull shape, bone structure, and even its growth patterns didn't match anything known to science. Some say it was proof of a lost civilization that experimented with genetics. Others insist it's a hoax. But the biggest question remains. If it was human, why does it look nothing like one? Even today, the Atacama skeleton remains one of the most debated discoveries in history. Number 8. The London hammer skeleton. In the 1930s, a hammer was found embedded in ancient rock supposedly millions of years old. That was strange enough. But what came next? A skeleton buried nearby. One that shouldn't have been there at all. Here's why. The skeleton's age didn't match history as we know it. It appeared to be a modern human, yet the rock layer it was found in suggested it could be millions of years old. Could this be proof of time travel? An advanced ancient civilization? Or is history itself a lie we've all been told to believe? Number 7. The skeletons with horns. In the late 1800s, archaeologists in Pennsylvania made a shocking discovery. Human skeletons, but with horns growing out of their skulls. These weren't just ordinary deformities. The horned skulls appeared too symmetrical, too perfect. It was as if they were naturally grown that way. Here's where it gets even weirder. Historians found old legends about a race of warriors with supernatural abilities who were said to have had horns on their heads. And just like the Lovelock giants, these skeletons were sent to a museum and never seen again. Are these just bizarre mutations, or were these horned beings a separate species entirely? Number 6. The unfinished mummy of Egypt. Deep inside a secret Egyptian tomb, archaeologists found something that made them question everything about the ancient world. A half-formed, unfinished mummy. Unlike any other mummy, this one had elongated limbs, strange skin texture, and missing organs. It looked as if it had been mummified before it was even fully human. Some believe this was an experiment gone wrong, an attempt by the ancient Egyptians to create something unnatural. Others claim it's proof of alien interference in ancient Egypt. But the strangest part? The DNA test came back inconclusive. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't fully human. Before we dive into the top 5 most mysterious skeletons ever found, let me ask you something. Are you enjoying this mind-blowing journey through history's biggest secrets? If so, please subscribe. Because hitting your subscribe button can give me new motivation to work harder and succeed. Now, let's get into the darkest discoveries yet. Number 5. The Giant of Kandahar. A group of US soldiers in Afghanistan reported something so terrifying that the military tried to cover it up. They were on a mission in the mountains when they encountered a 12-foot-tall humanoid with flaming red hair, double rows of teeth, and glowing eyes. It attacked them, killing one soldier instantly. The rest of the team opened fire, finally taking it down. But here's the part that no one was supposed to know. The US military allegedly airlifted the body, and it was never seen again. Some say it was an ancient being that had lived undisturbed for centuries. Others think it was proof that giants still walk among us. But if that's true, where are they hiding? Number 4. The buried alien in Russia. In a small Russian town, construction workers were digging up an old site when they found a skeleton unlike anything ever seen. It had an oversized skull, thin bones, and massive eye sockets. It was unlike any human they had ever seen. Russian scientists studied it for years, and in a shocking twist, some of them claimed it was not from Earth. Then, suddenly, the entire study was shut down. The skeleton was confiscated and no official explanation was ever given. Was it an alien, a hybrid, or something the government doesn't want us to know? Number 3. The demon child of Pompeii. Among the thousands of bodies buried in the ash of Pompeii, archaeologists found one skeleton that defied logic. Unlike the others, this skeleton had twisted bones, an elongated skull, and razor-sharp teeth. It was so disturbing that some experts refused to believe it was human at all. But here's where it gets even creepier. Local legends spoke of a cursed child, a demonic figure that was born during a blood moon and was responsible for Pompeii's destruction. The stories say that this child had unnatural powers and that its mere presence could cause misfortune. For centuries, these tales were dismissed as myths. But when researchers carbon dated the remains, they discovered something terrifying. This so-called demon child had died on the exact day Mount Vesuvius erupted. Some say this was just a tragic coincidence, but others believe the people of Pompeii knew something dark was coming. Did this child truly exist, or was it something else? And if the legends were true, could its curse still be alive today? Number 2. The vampire burials of Poland. Imagine digging a grave and finding bodies with their heads removed, bricks stuffed in their mouths, and iron stakes through their chests. This isn't just a horror story. It's a real discovery made in Poland. The skeletons were buried in a way that suggests the locals were terrified of them returning from the dead. But here's the real mystery. When scientists examined the bones, they found shocking anomalies. These so-called vampires had elongated canines, denser bone structures, and unusually long fingers. In some cases, their teeth appeared to have kept growing even after death. How is that possible? Even more disturbingly, records from that time period mention entire villages being wiped out overnight with no explanation. People swore they saw shadowy figures moving at night, bodies drained of blood, and entire families disappearing. And then, there's the most horrifying part. One of these vampire skeletons had signs of struggle, meaning it might have been buried alive. Were these just victims of superstition? Or could something more sinister have been at play? Number 1. The screaming skeleton of Mexico. Archaeologists in Mexico discovered a skeleton that no one can explain. It was buried deep inside an ancient temple, sitting upright, with its mouth frozen open in a scream. But here's the terrifying twist. This was not a normal burial. The skeleton had its hands tied behind its back, its ribs were broken, and its skull showed signs of extreme trauma. It was as if it had been sacrificed in some gruesome ritual. The temple itself was dedicated to a mysterious, long-forgotten deity, one that was said to demand human sacrifices. Legends speak of a cursed priest, someone who betrayed the gods and was punished for eternity. The locals believed this spirit would scream at night, warning people not to enter. And when scientists examined the bones, they found something even more disturbing. The skeleton belonged to someone with an unknown genetic structure. It was human, but not like any human we've ever known. Even today, people who visit the temple say they hear whispers in the dark, and some even claim to have seen shadowy figures lurking near the excavation site. So what really happened to the screaming skeleton? Was it an ancient sacrifice, a supernatural entity, or something far beyond our understanding? These skeletons shouldn't exist, but they do. And the biggest question is, why have so many of them mysteriously disappeared? What secrets are being hidden from us? Which of these mysterious discoveries shocked you the most? Tell me in the comments below. And if you love uncovering the world's biggest mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because trust me, the next story I uncover might be even scarier.